building on women's strengths for a better future in a COVID-19 world. Building on women's strengths for a better future in a COVID-19 world. COVID-19 is there, it is real, it has come. We don't know when it will go. So we need to learn to live with COVID. Life has to continue despite this pandemic. Life has to continue. So women have come up, they have strengths, but let us build on their strengths to enable them, especially women with disability, to enable them to live within this pandemic, to live within COVID-19 world. This theme is aimed at enhancing awareness about the roles women have played in the fight against COVID-19 and how they have continued to sustain households despite the hardships experienced. We need to continue, women have continued to sustain their households despite hardships. You agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that let me say many, I will not say most, but in many households, women are the breadwinners. In many households, women are the breadwinners. Whether you are disabled or not, this one is a fact. The gentlemen who are here, I think you also agree with me that in many households, women are the breadwinners. If they are the breadwinners, then let us try to assist them to build on their strengths. The theme also comes at a time when COVID-19 has negatively affected our economy, escalated cases of sexual and gender-based violence, increased pressure on the health sector, and led to the closure of schools and education institutions. The situation has led to loss of livelihoods for many households, which has led to low income levels. The pandemic has done a lot. It goes without emphasis that a lot has been affected, health-wise, education, children are no longer going to school, so we need to come together and improve the situation. The situation of women with disabilities is intensified due to the vulnerability of their nature. They further face a double tragedy of first being a woman and a woman with disability. First of all, being a woman itself is a problem. Let me use the word problem. And then to make matters worse, a woman with a disability. They face stigmatization, limited access to services, especially due to barriers in physical access, unfriendly services, and inaccessible communication. So these women with disability, because as I told you, being a woman itself is also not easy. I always tell people that we are all potential candidates of disability. Everybody is a potential candidate. Today she's disabled, I'm not, but tomorrow I might also become disabled. Today Madame Namu is not disabled, but the other day she may become disabled. We are all potential candidates, ladies and gentlemen, of disability. If everybody is able to understand this, then we should come up with good programs which will enable those who are disabled now and then those who will become disabled tomorrow. So if we are all potential candidates, then let us plan for disability in this country. And we have special grant for persons with disabilities. Members present here, I want to urge you to apply for this grant. This is a grant, it's not a loan, as it is with UA and the youth funds. This is a grant which the ministry gives to people with disabilities. We urge you to come up with groups because we can't give to individuals. We urge you to come up with groups between 5 to 15 people to form your group. This grant is benefited by 3 categories of people: a person with disability, a parent of a person or a child with disability, and a caretaker of a disability person. So if you fall in any of those 3 categories, we encourage you to form a group between 5, even if you are 5. So because our system says between 5 and 15, you form your group. One person may be disabled, may be disabled, another person may be a parent, so long as we fall in those three categories. This fund is there. And since I joined that ministry, I encourage people with disability, I encourage leaders at different levels to come to enable their people benefit from this grant. We give them 5 million shillings, Uganda shillings, for each group to go and come up with any income generating activity to boost the income of people with disabilities.
Just that because of the interventions we are doing in project schools, the schools have been able, without project support, to receive a total of 641 children with disabilities not supported by the project. So meaning they are coming up more to come to the schools because of what the environment the project has put up. We do support livelihoods, and this one we support youths age of 18 and above. And how we support them is mainly to ensure that they get skills training, employable skills. And it is this that make them move on into their journey.
How I believed in myself, and I knew that I'm in this situation and no one can change me. Yeah, I'm in a wheelchair, I have a disability, and that is it. There is no day I'll wake up, I'm walking. So I had to think twice to ensure that I become even more productive in my situation. One, to give courage to other young women out there, but also for self-independence. One of the days where our fellow people with disabilities, women and other people used to stay there, maybe to depend on others, we are struggling to ensure that all people with disabilities are off street, they are living self-reliant lives. So a few of us who have been able to go to school, we want to act as role models, to be sources of courage to our friends who are out there. We want to erase that attitude where people think that a person with disability is supposed to live with someone. A person with disability has to be always supported. We want the public to know that there is a difference between vulnerability and disability, because years ago and maybe even up to today, many people think that disability is synonymous to vulnerability, which is not the case. We believe, we who are now believing in the social kind of embrace, we believe that it is the environment that makes us disabled. Once the environment is okay, we are able to move. But it all starts with us having courage within ourselves to overcome even these barriers. Once we have determination and a community that is supportive, we are able to achieve persistence, loving what we do, and also believing, having hope. Because being in a wheelchair doesn't mean that someone is dead. We have a future, we can lead families, we are entitled to any right that any other working person has.
For now, I have a small voice as we hear it. And I'm short, I'm a little person. So, people may look at me like this and they judge me like this. They don't hear what comes from my mouth. So they lack that trust. And even if after contesting, there are some people who will not trust you. Believe it or not. This leadership, you see, we are seated on what fire is it? It's not a walkover. You ask leaders, you ask minister. It's not a walkover. It's a big job. Man, it's a big job. You should thank them. To see a leader. That's why people are complaining that honorables have not done something. But why? Because they are seated on, maybe some people who don't have that kind of leadership. But when you know that you are a leader, you are on one seat. And what one? Because you should serve every person in the world, in the country. I was not only the head girl, but I had that big thing on my head. That divine, you should do this at this time. You should preach at school this at this time. So that hurt me. If you have never been a leader, you don't know. Try it. short and I'm small. I can't fight, I can't. No. Just imagine these women are fighting. It's like to stop them. They will see me. Even they will not see me. They may even kill me. Yes. I'm telling you that. Another thing I heard is that with disabled people, the truth is this, that the things that a normal person does, we do it thrice. Did you know that? Okay, if you didn't know, let me tell you. You see this honorable. The power she put in contesting is more than the other normal person. When I was contesting, I saw that. You don't know. I had a burden. I would contest. I would use every good word to convince the voters, to convince them. Because now some people think they don't like this physical body. When they say, there is a person who made this statement, I don't know why I don't like short people. Then I heard and I said, why? And she had us. But just for her, like short people. That's her life, and you can't refuse her right to say it. Yes? So the things that we do, the normal person does, we do it thrice. Thrice. Without that stop. If it is contesting for the president, if I'm to contest for the president with a normal woman, you may see. I can use all the money, all the strength. So if you were disabled leader, you know what I'm meaning. This one I can tell you. We passed through a big
talking about her experience in leadership. We are now going to hear from Claire. You're very welcome, Claire.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Natkunda Claire. I'm from Cheshire Services, Uganda. I'm a student, I'm a finalist at Chambogo University. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in community-based rehabilitation. I'm a leader and a very determined one. But I'm a determined leader advocating for equal rights and in an inclusive environment for all vulnerable persons, including women with disabilities. I'm here to talk about leadership experiences right out from the university, and it's been very good, challenging, but not all that. As a young lady with a disability, I've held a position as a women representative in Chambogo University under the association, that is Chambogo University Disability Students Association. It wasn't just a walkover. We contested. I wasn't the only woman for that position. I had to reach out to different students and tell them my abilities as a young lady with disability. I thank God I was voted in, and I had to serve people. What did I do on the ground? I had to advocate for the health of women in the university, more especially those with disabilities. That's the time I was appointed to be on the healthy committee, and that time we did have the sanitary towels provision. They used to only bring tablets from the medical center and the other things, but we came in and said, here we need, because they could bring the condoms in bathrooms. But again, we were like, how about we, the women with disabilities? We need some sanitary towels, and it was provided. Yeah. Another position, that's the time I was doing my diploma, and when I came back upgrading for a bachelor's degree, people were like, you really did it well, we would like you to come back. And I had to contest, and I was voted in as the chairperson Chamberlain University Disability Students Association. Currently, I'm the chairperson. Out of this, I've really registered many achievements. I would like to call each and every one, more especially the ladies, in your respective institutions to act, to take on the leadership positions, because it is very good if you're good at advocating, if you love to advocate for human rights or for any other person, please, you better take up that position. As a young woman with a disability, leadership at the university has prepared me for bigger positions that are yet to come. For example, for me now to contest for a honorable MP, women MP, I don't need to worry. That's what I can tell you. I don't need to worry so far for the experiences I've achieved from Chamberlain University. It's my dream, and I pray to fulfill it. Leadership has molded me in a shape of a role model, and it has put me in the line of victorious people. And how have I been a role model? Right now, I have 2 persons with disabilities at Chamberlain University, that is a hearing impaired person and a visually impaired person. They contested, they came to me and were like, Claire, for this, we have to contest. And one is going to be the Minister for Disability Affairs, and another one is going to be the Guild Representative Councillor. Leadership has motivated me to go forward. I have been always on the front lines. I've got opportunities, platforms, spaces. One day I was invited to represent the university on behalf of women or girls with disabilities and others at Munyonyo Resort and Imperial Royal on family planning issues and sexual reproductive healthy rights. On the same note, I got an opportunity with Cheshire, Uganda on sexual reproductive healthy rights as a training. And in the same way, I was voted to be the group member, that is Mutima Group. Big ups to Rahul. Since I look forward to be a unique female activist with disability globally, I'm working hard to become a woman MP in the near future.